It's Kelly Clarkson here to talk all things Wayfair, the best place to buy furniture, decor, and anything else you can think of to create a home you absolutely love. I know when I shop with Wayfair, I find options for every style, whether I'm feeling boho or farmhouse, modern, traditional, French country. I can find exactly what I need for my home and more. No matter your space, style, or budget, shop Wayfair.com to make your home way more you.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
And that means that you're going to be dependent on outside care. You're not going to be able to get yourself off the toilet. You're not going to be able to drive. You're not going to be able to think straight. You won't remember your kids' names. So which one is it, right? Like, do you want to live in a body that supports you as long as you're on this planet? Or do you want to just slowly deteriorate in the world that we've created with all the toxins and all the things? To each their own, but hell's bells. As long as I am in this body, I would like it to function.
Welcome to the Bomb Life Podcast, where fitness, mindset, and real talk collide. This isn't just about workouts. It's about transforming your body, mind, and life. Get ready for unfiltered conversations, expert advice, and the motivation you need to level up in every way. Hey everyone, welcome to the Bomb Life Podcast. I am Melissa Vogel, your host. Welcome to the show. Wow, it's an exciting time of year. I feel like I always say that because it's like, it's summertime, it's the holidays, it's spring break, it's springtime. I'm just like, oh my God, every season seems just like an exciting time of the year. And this time is, because we are like back in, school and our norm. I feel like we're getting a good routine around here. I wish this could be interactive because I would love to know how you guys are doing too. If you're not following me yet on social media, make sure you follow me. It's Melissa Vogel on TikTok, Instagram, all over the place, Facebook. You can find me there. And then always go to our website too. It's melissavogelfitness.com. You're going to get so much good information. Is that English? You're going to get great information there. How about we say that? That sounds better. My brain just feels a little fried. I just got back from Baja, Mexico. I was down there for the Baja 400. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's like a race. It's like trophy truck race. It's crazy. It's out in the middle of like the desert and like nowhere. I don't know if that's considered desert, but it's out in the middle of nowhere and it's like dirty and insane. And these men go out there, and some women, but they go out there and they like learn the terrain and they take notes and it's, like prepping for like weeks before. And then they go out on race day and they have like a start. Well, if they qualify first, and then that puts them in their position, and then they have a start time, and then they take off, and you have like 19 hours or something. I don't know. I could be getting this wrong. 19 hours to finish the race. And, you deal with flat tires and things with the brakes, and it's insane. And I got to be a part of it. It was so cool to be there and be the only female and behind the scenes and just see everything that's going on. And I was down there Wednesday through Sunday, and then the border coming back was it was crazy. It was a nightmare getting back, but we did. And I'm just like, I feel so, I don't know, so off. And now I'm back on the mic on a Monday. We never record on a Monday, but I'm happy to be here with you guys and share a little bit about this experience. And, just when you go to another country, and you can totally go to Mexico and do like the whole resort thing. We did not do that. And in Mexico, just hitting on this really quick, it brings a whole appreciation to where we live and what we have. And we are so blessed, you guys, so blessed to have just the amenities that we have and the resources and the water and the food. And it's incredible. It's so crazy when you go down to the border down by Tijuana, and, you have to wait in this line forever. And all these people are just selling by your windows and coming up to your door like the whole time. And then as you get closer to the border, there's like all these like shops, but not like real stores or anything. They're like, set up shops and stuff. And there's kids running around in between the cars and the traffic and sitting there. There was like this baby sitting in a stroller. Like the mom just left it in between the cars on the lines of the road. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's crazy because then you cross over and you hit essentially like down by San Diego. And within 10 seconds, it's a whole other world. And I'm not getting into political stuff or like bashing anything. I'm just sharing my experience and how it just makes you, I don't know, come from a place of gratitude for a hot second, and you're just like, oh my God, we are so blessed and we are so lucky. And then it makes you think like, what can I do? How can I help? And I don't know. So it was just an experience that I'm never going to forget. It made me realize too, well, one, I do have to say this because I took a couple of days off from the gym. So I'm excited to go today to see how strong I am, because always when you take days off and you go back, it's like, wow, recovery is amazing. So that was good. But then also it's so good to step away from your norm. And I talk about this a little bit at the end of the podcast. It's so good to step away from your norm and get recharged. Now, although my sleep wasn't great and it was like crazy situations and it was a couple of long days sitting in a car and everything, but I'm away from my norm, and you recharge your battery when you get to go do fucking amazing things. And we get stuck so much in our daily rut and just like homework and kids and sports and work and then repeat and like, oh, it's the weekends now, I have time to do yard work. And like, like we don't go out and do like amazing things. And my dear friend, Marcella Hill, who is our guest today, we talk about this at the end of this episode and just like how important it is for our soul and to live life and the experience. And if we want our kids to live life and have experiences and benefit from all that, they need to see us do that. They need to see us go out and just, chase the sun and do cool things. And being a good parent doesn't mean being there every single day. Yes, be in their lives. Yes, raise good humans. Yes, all those things. But like, what are you doing? It just made me like think of the question, and bring up the whole topic of like, what are you doing to feel alive? What are you doing to break it up? And now I know things cost money and, like all that. Sure. I'm not, dismissing that at all. But there's so many other things that you can do to feel alive that don't cost money. Are you pushing yourself on your walks? Are you driving somewhere and just taking a different walk? Looking at a new path, signing up for a race, going to a new gym, trying a new class. Like, what are you doing that just makes your soul feel a little bit of alive? We get so stuck at being homebodies, right? Which is totally fine. Like, that's why I force myself to go out and do different things, because I'm like, oh, I'm good at my home. I can go from home to gym and be like totally content. And I live in a gated community. I don't really have to leave, like I'm good here. And you don't live that way. Your soul does not feel alive that way. And so if you're listening to this and you're someone who just does work at home, exciting days going to Target, dude, girl, come on, change it up. Live life, do something crazy, do something fun, sign up for something. Just wake your soul up just a little bit. And that's everything that like Marcella Hill is all about. Wake her up. Today's guest, Marcella Hill, is a perimenopause advocate and a speaker and an author of the Amazon bestseller, Wake Her Up. If you feel like something's missing, it's you. And she's the host of the Wake Her Up podcast, which I have been on a few times. So you guys go check out the podcast, Wake Her Up. Check it out. Listen to our episodes together. They're not that old. Some of them just recently came out. But her podcast is a candid, unfiltered, middle-life conversation space for women who feel like something's missing and are realizing that what's missing is themselves. And Marcella created the Wake Her Up movement and a website directory in response to her own perimenopause journey, and now provides women with real help, real hope, and like this a beautiful path forward. And what I love about Marcella is how she makes women feel seen, especially in a phase of life that so many people brush under the rug. And she doesn't shy away from the messy, the shame, the chaos. And instead she leans in, digs deep, and pulls back the veil, like so we can all wake up and walk into the next phase of life with power and purpose and presence. And, we dig a little bit into her personal story, and I love that she shares that. And that's how it birthed, the Wake Her Up, and how she connects now women with help and resources. It's just incredible. We're going to have her back on and we're going to talk about teen life and navigating that, because it's funny. They're in the same stage of like navigating hormonal shifts. And so are women, that experience perimenopause and menopause and stuff. And it's nothing to be like disgusted by or shame. This is such a good conversation that you guys need to hear. And we were kind of talking about like how, women will try and read a book and we try to take information, and some of us do. Some of us sit down and finish a book and we're like, wow, that was really good. And then we don't take the next step. Or some of us don't even read the book and we're like, yeah, I got to sit on my shelf, but I just haven't read it. That's a problem. And many people will only hear episodes like this. And this is how they'll get knowledge in their brain and be like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Oh my God, that's me. I'm experiencing that. And then they'll take a step forward. So that's why I love this conversation, that we had, because it's like, God, so many women, this might be it for them. This might be the only thing and way that they hear this conversation about doctors and perimenopause and blood and tests and all of it. So we're so lucky to have this conversation and have her on today. Check out the show notes, learn how you can connect with her, follow her, go to the website, the directory, everything. And as always, you guys click on the link in there, book a call with me. If you don't know which direction to take, if you feel like you are stuck, I'm here to have the conversation, work with you one-on-one, put you in my group setting. We can figure this out together. You don't have to do this alone at all. All right, everyone, enjoy the show. Hey, everyone, welcome to the Bomb Life Podcast. Today, we have my dear friend, Marcella Hill, back on the show. Welcome, Marcella.
I'm back. Hi.
She's back. I'm so happy that you are finally here. I've been on your podcast, the Wake Her Up podcast, twice
Yeah.
recently.
I feel like I feel like you're always on my podcast.
I know. And I'm like, she's got to come back on. But I do have to say, I had you on first.
Yes, that's true. My podcast first, definitely. Mine's just getting going.
I think that was like 2 years ago, maybe
That's
even 3.
crazy.
I'm not even joking.
That's like before we actually knew each other.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, Marcella and I are pretty good friends. She's my go-to. Not gonna lie, I just called her what?
Slept in my bed.
We have slept together, all the things. That sounds terrible. And like, I just had a nervous breakdown like 2 weeks ago. Marcella's the one I called. I like text her. I'm like, I'm ready to cry. I'm gonna cry. Do you have space for this right now?
Yes, I did. And it was lovely.
Yeah. So
Everybody needs friends like this.
everyone does. So I know this woman. I have lived in her house a few times now, and I'm so excited to have her back on because she is just, you are the guru of like perimenopause in this space. It's such an honor to have you on. I have sent people and asked you questions of like, dude, I got this, client that is in a mess and her doctors aren't helping. Where do I send her? What do we do? And every single time, like, you have guided us in the right place and they're like doing amazing. So
Yeah, I feel like I somehow ended up being the perimenopause tour guide is what I
know.
landed on because I'm like, I'm not an expert, for sure not. I don't know the
Right.
medical anything of this, but I can guide you to where to go.
Yes.
That's what I can do. So that's where I landed. Yeah.
But I swear, I feel like I could go to you for more answers than I could my own doctor. Like, I
Well,
feel like you could
you
guide
know,
me in a better direction.
yeah.
Well, and you've lived it, and you've experienced so much and you've talked to so many people all around the world. Like,
I think that's the difference, right? Like I never thought about this, but when you're walking into a doctor, let's say you're going to a local clinic,
mhm,
one, that doctor is limited to the amount of patients they can fit into their schedule in their local area, right? So
yep,
they're not talking to a million people.
no,
They're talking to each individual. And those individuals are not overlapping their stories in the sense that they're not correlating and powwowing their stories and
mm,
to figure out like, wait a minute, you and you and you, and maybe we should like collectively ask this doctor about this if they're telling us all the same thing. So even going to a doctor that's really well versed, they're still in their own tunnel. And me, I'll put something on social media and 100,000 people will tell me what's going on with them. So
yes,
I do get a much bigger picture than a doctor does.
yeah. Oh, that's so true. It just makes me trust you more.
Yeah. I'm like, I know what, the research can talk all at once,
hmm
but when you've got 100,000 women saying something else, I'm going to go with that.
Right? Same. Yeah, my doctor just the other day told me to stop taking creatine. And I'm like, no reason. No reason. And I'm like, why? I'm like, creatine's amazing. And I didn't want to get into like studies and stats. It was like just a quick, like over the phone, like, doctor appointment. And she's like, why? Like, if you don't need it, don't add it in. I'm like, okay, I get that, but there's so many benefits to it. She's like, no, you don't need it. And I'm like, I completely disagree with you right now.
I think we forget that doctors are working a full-time, more than full-time job and have a life.
Oh,
right?
yes.
So they've already gone to school. They work full time and run a business, most of them,
Yeah.
and they're not even business people. So they're trying to figure out their business. And then they have a life. So we expect them to be like up on the research, constantly educating themselves. They, most of them don't want to. Most of them are like, this is my practice. This is what the product is that I have found works with most people. And they themselves have this like package deal,
Mhm.
right? Where they're like their go-to systematic
Yes.
thing where they ABC, this is what we do. This is
This
what
is what we do.
works for most people.
Mhm.
It's
My
wild.
I think I told you this, my ex-husband works for a very well-known pharmaceutical company, and I remember because when we had gotten married, he was just starting that job, and it never left this what he said never left my head. God, I can't talk. And he was like, "I go in and I tell the doctors what they know." He's like, "I educate them and I know more about," he had, like, erectile dysfunction. He had, like, things for yeast infections, like, things like that. He's like, I'm educating them. He's like, I'm telling them things and they're learning their information from me. And I'm like, really? And he wasn't saying it like in a cocky way. I was like, what do you do? And like, how does this work? And like, he's like,
Yeah.
well, no, seriously, I know more than the physician and I'm going in there and educating them. And I'm like, you, just a rep. And he's like, yeah, that's where they're getting their information from. I'm like,
It's literally the pharmaceutical reps are the ones training the doctors
yes.
on new stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like the whole system is so messed up. And I'm just
Yes.
one of the girls in the system that didn't know any
Right.
of this. Right. I mean, I had no idea.
Right.
And I don't have any like, I don't benefit from spewing this information. Like
Right.
it just is what it is. Like we and women just don't know.
Right.
The other thing I think that's really interesting, especially when we're talking about perimenopause and hormones. And this is something it took me a long time to wrap my brain around. I think a lot of women expect their OBGYN to be their woman doctor for the rest of their life. And they are going to guide them through all the hormonal changes. And we expect them to. And
Yes.
then we get really upset when they don't know anything about hormones or they dismiss us. And for me, I'm like realizing one, OBGYNs did not learn a damn thing about hormones. They didn't. If your OBGYN does know about hormones, it's because that doctor decided to go out and get additional education in like a specialized form at their own expense, at their own time and effort and energy. Hormones is not like included in the OBGYN education. It's just not part of that practice. And yet we expect it. It would be like going to your OBGYN and being like, help me with my eyes. It's not their area of expertise. It's
Right.
not what they do. And it's not that they're lying to us. It's not that they are necessarily dismissing us. It's
Mhm.
literally they don't know. Now, it would make more sense if OBGYNs would blatantly say, I was not trained in this area. I
Mhm.
do not know. This is not my area of expertise. Just like I'm not an eye doctor. I only work with vaginas and uteruses. That's all I know. I don't
Yes.
know hormones and the endocrine systems, and they don't know anything about that. But instead, they just are like, decide that they're going to tell us that they kind of know about it just enough to make us feel crazy.
Yes, we're gonna
Weird.
check your blood, we're gonna see where your levels are, and depending on that test, we're gonna write you a prescription.
Yeah, because OBGYNs are going off, or I shouldn't say just literally any doctor, they're going off scales and references provided by the FDA, provided by the medical system. So they'll run blood work. And then if you end up in the green area of normal, then the doctor's like,
Yeah,
you're normal.
right.
But what women don't know is that if how this is the question asked, how did we create normal range? That's the
Right.
question to be asking. And what they ended up doing with hormone ranges is they went and they looked at regular women, all women, whether they feel good or don't feel good, doesn't matter. And they're like, this is their normal range. This is the normal range, average. This is the average range. That's what they should call it. But that doesn't mean that those women feel good. So it's not the same as going and getting blood work done for a disease, right? If you go and do that and you're in normal range, that's good.
Right.
If you do blood work for hormones and you're in normal range, that's actually really bad because just take a look around. women on average don't feel good. So you don't want to be normal.
No.
That's bad.
No. Well, I can relate to that. Like, if we look at a normal female, an average female, and their
Average.
fitness and health level, with body fat or muscle and stuff, like, if you look at that, be like, oh, do you want to be that average, that normal, quote unquote, person? I would look at that and be like, oh, hell no. No, I don't want to look like that. I mean, like, no offense to the American woman, but like, no, I want to be a step above that. And that's such a good way that you explain that.
Well, and normal right now is not even good. Like, right? I mean,
No.
the average woman right now, she isn't sleeping well. I mean, we're just going to run through the symptoms right now. If you're
Right.
listening, these are the symptoms. There's over 105 symptoms. And I don't even like I don't even like calling it symptoms because you would never say, what are the symptoms of puberty? You would never put it in that context, right? We
Right.
just know it's all of you. If you're 15, you're in it. Like it's your whole thing.
Mhm.
But yet we like need symptoms of perimenopause. But one, I'm just going to say blanket statement. If you're between 35 and 50, you're in perimenopause. It's almost 10 years prior to menopause. And menopause is described by 12 months of no cycle, right? So 10 years, a 10-year span before that. So think of like your 8-year-old all the way up to 18. That's puberty. So anyway, so there's that. But you're not sleeping. You have irregular periods. Your body hurts. Everything itches from the inside of your ears to your eyes, to your hair, to your legs. Everything itches. You feel this overall dead inside. You don't really want to wake up in the morning. There's just a numbness of feeling. So you're not really crying. Like you're really thinking like, when's the last time I cried? I know you and I have had that conversation, right?
Yep.
You can't cry. You really can't feel many emotions at all. The things that used to bring you joy don't. You have no libido. Also creepy, crawly skin. Like it just pins and needles. You just want to crawl out of your body. There's also heart palpitations and new smells and new body odor is a crazy thing. Women say like they just suddenly smell like onions, even just getting out of the shower. Like, where's the onions? It's just because obviously the hot flashes. I always
Right.
forget hot flashes because I feel like there's so many. That's like the obvious one, but
Right.
there's so many other symptoms that women are not associating with this. If your ears are
I know.
itching, you're not associating itchy ears with low libido.
Oh, hell no.
You're treating those as two totally separate situations, but it's all hormones.
Mhm.
And I think what's interesting is I've watched women want to say like, well, which symptoms are associated with which hormone? And this is a really important conversation because it's a system, right? It's the whole thing. You can't just say like itchy ears is this.
Right.
Because somebody could go fix their thyroid and have everything, all their symptoms go away. And that person's going to say, it was my thyroid. I just need to fix thyroid. But what they don't know is that because they fix their thyroid, it fixed their testosterone and their estrogen and their progesterone.
Right.
It's like it helped all the things. Because I put in testosterone in my body and some progesterone, and all the symptoms went away. Right. So it's a whole system. And that's what they call balancing, right? Because you can't go too high in one or too low in another. Like it's a whole thing. Yeah, this whole thing is so messed up and it's so confusing. And even doctors that are hormone therapists are still contradicting each other.
Yes.
And I will say the wildest thing that has come out of all of this is that women are realizing how individual their bodies are. In the regular system, we've been treated like this one thing, this one system.
Right.
There's this one pill at this one dose, and this is what everyone takes.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work for you, you should just get a different medication.
Hey, Bomb Life fam, I have a question for you. Are you the kind of person who crushes it at work, shows up for your family, checks off every to-do list, but when it comes to your fitness, your energy, and your confidence, it feels like something's missing. You might be doing the workouts, listening to all the right podcasts. I mean, you are listening to this one, but deep down, you know, you're just kind of going through the motions and you're done playing small in this area of life. That's exactly why I created Fit Mind Coaching, my private one-on-one program for high-achieving women and men who are ready to level up. This isn't just another fitness plan. This is about building the body and the mindset to match the life you're working so damn hard for. Because success in business means nothing if you're hiding in hoodies, avoiding mirrors, or dragging through your day with zero energy, or showing up on Zoom meetings feeling good from the chest up, but praying no one ever sees what's going on below the screen. We're talking about fat loss, muscle building, and real confidence that bleeds into every area of your life, your boardroom, your bedroom, and your parenting. You want it all? Good. You should have it all. Let's go. Click the link in the show notes and book your free call with me today. Let's build the strongest, most confident version of you inside and out. You're ready for more, and I'm ready to show you how. Back to the show. I was totally going to ask, like, what's the biggest myths or misconceptions you've heard about perimenopause? And that's probably one of the biggest ones.
I think that's what's crazy is we're mad at the system for not treating us like individuals and studying us. The one another reason why the system doesn't study us, because we're too complicated. We cycle, we don't have a regular system. You know, sometimes women are pregnant. You know what I mean? It's like this crazy system. We're mad at the system for not creating studies, but then we ourselves are not willing to treat ourselves like an individual system and go and test things on ourselves to figure out what actually works for ourselves. We literally still just want the one pill. A lot of women will say, I've done HRT. It didn't work for me. And then I'm like, what HRT did you do?
Right.
Like, what does that even mean? Because people think HRT is like this box that gets sent to your house.
Yeah.
And then like, we tried it. I'm like, do you realize there's like, let's just talk about testosterone. There's creams.
It's Kelly Clarkson here to talk all things Wayfair, the best place to buy furniture, decor, and anything else you can think of to create a home you absolutely love. I know when I shop with Wayfair, I find options for every style, whether I'm feeling boho or farmhouse, modern, traditional, French country. I can find exactly what I need for my home and more. No matter your space, style, or budget, shop Wayfair.com to make your home way more you.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
When you run a business, there are a lot of boxes to check.
Let's see. Payroll? Check. Inventory? Check. Insurance?
Well, Good Thing Simply Business makes getting small business insurance fast and easy. Just answer a few questions, review your quotes, and get covered in under 10 minutes, all online. It's that simple. Check insurance off your list at simplybusiness.com.
Injections, gels. I think there's even an oral. There's pellets. So you've got all that. Then even within just pellets, you've got like different combinations and different producers of pellets that use different delivery methods. And you have different physicians that dose it differently.
Yeah.
And so women will be like, Matt, I tried that. It didn't work. And I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
Right. What do you mean? But it's so funny you're saying that because I'm like sitting here going, I hear that all the time. Like people say that to me all the time. Oh, I've tried that and it didn't work. And we have, like, as women, we've just got to get that out of our head that like, oh, that didn't work. It's like there are 50 different varieties of ways that you could do like your nutrition or your workouts or your cardio or your hormones or the way you sleep, like everything. There's so many different ways. I feel like we just need to remove that of like, oh, that didn't work for me.
Yeah. And we also, I mean, this conversation is so big, right? Because
oh God,
I mean, we're jumping in like right in the middle. There's going to be women that are like, why should I take hormones? Like we didn't even get into all of that.
Right.
And again, like I'm not a medical professional, but what I've learned and the new research that's out, I'm going to give this to you in a nutshell. Back in the like 80s, 90s, the numbers for how many women in menopause were on hormones, it's something insane. I want to say it's like, great. I don't want to throw out the wrong number, but it's a lot. It's like 50% of women were on hormones. Let's just say 50%, right? In comparison. Now today, it's like 3%. And this is what happened. There was a study. It's called the WHI study. And they studied women over 60 that with estrogen. And basically on the Today Show, they announced the results before the study was even done and basically said that it causes cancer, which was not true. But because that statement on the Today Show in one day, women just threw out all of their hormones, doctors just shut it all down, and then nothing, there was no other research followed up.
Nope.
Hormones off the table. And so everyone got freaked out. Doctors learned that it caused cancer. So now we've got 20 years of doctors that have learned that it causes cancer when all of that was bullshit. It's actually been completely, what do you call that? Redacted? Is that the word? Like, it's been said that like that study was bogus. It was done wrong. The information was wrong. We should have never stopped taking
How much
hormones.
damage it did, though.
Right. I mean,
Ugh.
women have dementia because they didn't take hormones.
Yeah.
So let's get into like what hormones actually do. For me personally, I mean, that's why I'm all here, right?
Right.
Because I thought I was dead inside, hated my husband. Doctor said all my hormones were normal, went another year of just feeling like I was crazy. Then my friend was like, you got to go to this hormone clinic. I was like, great, where are we going? Called them, told them all their symptoms, and was the first person who was like, we help with that. I was like bawling. I was like, can I just come in tomorrow? Like, please
Right.
take me now. And at this point, I have to be really honest. I didn't know anything about hormone therapy. I didn't even know to research anything. I had no idea. I was so desperate. I was like, just put it in my body. Literally didn't care. And I started on the testosterone pellets. And 7 days late, well, first of all, the second day into it, I slept all night. I thought it was like a fluke thing. I don't even remember the last time I slept all night. I thought that was a little kid thing to do where you go to bed at night and then you wake up in the morning. No idea that adults can sleep all night. I just had no idea that was a real thing. Apparently you can. Like, apparently you can do that. And then by the 7th day, I remember it being about like 7 o'clock. Yeah, I had lived years of like counting down the hours to bedtime where I was like, I'm just done. Like I remember telling my kids it was like 6 o'clock and I'm like, mom's off duty. Like, we're not doing this anymore, right? Like, and I remember being 7 o'clock and me just asking the kids, should we pop some popcorn and turn on a movie and play some games? And it was so different. Like my energy was different. It wasn't caffeinated energy. It was just this generally good, want to be around people energy.
Right.
I was like, well, that's new. And after like 3 or 4 months, all of a sudden my bones didn't hurt. I mean, I think I told the story on your last one where I'd stopped going for long walks. I remember being out for a long walk, being like, my ankles don't hurt, my knees don't hurt, my shoulders don't hurt, my hips don't hurt. Like, I wonder if I can run. I remember running and just crying and just thinking like, I'm back. Like, I'm not going to just slowly die. Like,
Yeah.
I get to be in this body that's not falling apart anymore. And
Right.
it just, that's what hormones do. And now, obviously, I've been here for 3 years. I worked with lots of doctors. You know, I have publishing 2 studies going to be published in November. And I've watched women go through the same awakening. I've seen them gain the same benefits. And then I've also learned that hormones decrease your chances of dementia. They increase your bone density. They protect your heart, protect your brain. I mean, they protect against cancer, like the opposite of what we believed. I mean,
Right.
there's just wild misinformation out there. And women also have grown to believe that hormones are medications and they're not looking at it as like a health benefit, just like crazy.
Yeah, I think you're
Or
right.
protein or your vitamin D, right? Like they think, oh no, I don't want to start this thing because now I'm going to be dependent on it. That is not what hormones are. I wish that hormones were called supplements. I wish it was like you're supplementing your testosterone, you're supplementing your progesterone because that's what you're doing.
Yeah, we don't look at like having to take vitamin C every day as, oh God, I'm going to become dependent on it. I need this.
Maybe I should get this in like I mean, I guess, you know, people do want to think I want to get this in a natural form. That's fine. But you can't, like, there's not food that has, I mean,
Right.
I should backtrack. There are foods that you can eat that help increase testosterone, like protein. right? But when perimenopause happens, you're dramatically, quickly dropping in hormones so fast because your ovaries are dying. It's not a nutritional situation. Your ovaries are dying.
Yeah.
Cannot eat enough to replace your ovaries dying.
Right. Well, and like, I mean, if we really look at like human history, we didn't live as long as we are now.
Right.
Like we had babies at 16, 18. That was like what women are doing now in their 30s.
Yeah.
So then by the time you were in your 40s, you were like, you're really freaking old. You were going to die soon if you didn't die of like getting bit by a snake or, like something wild in the Wild West. So just over mankind, like we have to take that into consideration. Like, oh, we're living longer. Oh,
Yeah.
we need a way to make our bodies live longer and be at its peak performance too, well into our 90s if we wanted.
Yeah. I love when people are like, well, I just want to age naturally. I was like, have you seen aging naturally? Because our bodies were not built to live this long.
No.
And aging naturally right now is that your brain deteriorates, your heart
Yeah.
deteriorates, your bones deteriorate. That's aging naturally.
Yeah.
And that means that you're going to be dependent on outside care. You're not going to be able to get yourself off the toilet. You're not going to be able to drive. You're not going to be able to think straight. You won't remember your kids' names. So, which one is it, right? Like, do you want to live in a body that supports you as long as you're on this planet? Or do you want to just slowly deteriorate in the world that we've created with all the toxins and all the things? To each their own, but hell's bells. As long as I am in this body, I would like it to function.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hell yeah. And I just love that we're like having this conversation of like, and you sharing that like your doctor doesn't know all and how you explained that they live in this box and the patients that come in are in their box and their world. And women need to hear this conversation from other women talking and sharing their experience and stuff, because that's the only way we're going to learn, and there's going to be so many women listening, Marcella, that are going, oh my God, that's me. Like they're either relating to things that you're saying or they went to their doctor and they got dismissed or, and they're like, I thought this is just how I had to live. I didn't know I could get that light turned back on. So these conversations, podcast episodes like this are so freaking important. People have no idea.
Well, and here's the other thing that's happening right now in this world. Now perimenopause is like this fad thing, viral. Yeah. Everyone's talking about it. And everyone's educating. There's doctors that are incredible and putting out really amazing books and documentaries and podcasts. And you could run yourself into the ground trying to become a hormone specialist and learning all of the things. And I hope women get as much information as you feel comfortable with to be able to advocate for yourself. But at the end of the day, I personally didn't want to become a hormone specialist. I was like, I don't want to. I'm doing other things.
Right.
I'm too busy. I mean, I have like 100 books on hormone therapy and I have read very little of them. And I wanted to find the doctor that had the information. Give me a freaking phone number. Give me a phone number. Tell me which doctor to trust. Tell me which doctor that is going to help me figure out my body and then put the things in me so I can be on my merry way and go do my things.
Yep.
And that is where what I've created comes in, because I think that's the majority of women. I think majority of women are not going to read these books. I think majority of women are not going to sit and watch these documentaries. And they literally we just don't have time. We don't have the bandwidth.
The most they'll get is a podcast like this.
Yeah.
While they're driving, picking up kids.
Like, oh, I'm in perimenopause and this is where I need to go. Yep. And these are the doctors to trust. And these are the doctors that have all the information.
Yep.
I mean, for me, again, there are women that are like, go to all the webinars. That's great, right? Read all the books. That's fine. But I think women can get really caught up in gaining information and then never taking action and never actually doing the thing, because it's too much information. And then you're like, literally still don't know where to go. And that's where what ended up happening. I shared my story on TikTok. It went viral. Oprah reposted it. I mean, it just went crazy, right? But at the end of the day, all of my comments were women saying, where do we go?
Yeah.
And there was literally no directory to send them. Like none. I was like, how are the good hormone therapists not on like one directory? And it's because a lot of these hormone therapy clinics are people that realized Oh, I'm not able to work with women on an individual basis inside the system. So what
Mm,
do? They left the system, opened their own clinic that's out of pocket so that they have the capacity to treat women individually. Because as long as you're in the insurance system, you're in a box of
yeah.
what insurance says you're allowed to have.
Yep.
And that makes it so that you can't actually get this like really individualized care. And I don't think we ever thought about that.
No.
So these doctors have gone out on their own and opened their own practice, and then it's just word of mouth. And that's why we can't find them. That's why we don't know where to go. And
Until
so
now.
until now.
Because that's what you've built. Like, I don't think our listeners like know that. Like, you have built this directory. Like, if people don't follow you or they're brand new to everything, you have built this directory to help women and get the help they need and go in the direction that they need to go in.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's ended up, I think right now we're over 600. There's over 600 providers on there, local, telehealth. And it's not just one method. This is not just like the Marcella approved method. You can find Chinese medicine, you can find pellet providers, you can find endocrinologists and OBGYNs and
Amazing.
people that offer the full scope of looking at you as a whole picture. That is the one thing that the directory has gotten better and better because as we have found doctors, we're like, wait, that level of service is available? We didn't know that, right? So then we like filter out everyone that doesn't do that level of service. And then it's like, oh, there's one more level. Okay, why isn't everyone doing that? And we'll either go back to all of the physicians that we have on the list and be like, we would really suggest that you go get trained in this because women are going to start wanting this. Right. So we're like kind of
Mhm.
basically rebuilding the women's healthcare system just from this one direction.
For real. For real. And now you just launched a brand new website too.
So
Tell us about
oh,
it.
it's so good. Honestly, in the beginning, I just started linking, right? Like just it was this massive list. It was like 100 links long. And then it moved to the website. It was just a glorified site of link lists. And then now it's wakeherup.co and it is gorgeous. And you can have it's not just the directory, but you've got the community. There's over 60,000 women just
Mm,
talking about their experience. You also, because of that community, we've been able to collect products that all of those women are also recommending. And it's not just, I know, influencers and things like that, they get paid to slap products in front of you. What's so different about this is a collective of women coming together, voting, trying, sharing. And
yes.
then I have to put my name behind this. So I'm not going to just slap any company on there.
Yep.
I'm going to go, I'm going to meet the CEO. I'm going to make sure I know her. What's her story? Can we trust her? Do we like her? Is she doing this under the right context of like wanting to actually help women? And that's who we share on the website, not just the companies that want to pay to be there. And in fact, no companies pay to be there. I mean, they can pay to have like highlighted spots, but we will put anyone on there that we love. So that's
I
what's
love that. And we need like because you're right. There's so many influencers out there right now and like so much information and products. And I mean, I could open up my social media right now and I'll have like 4 ads running for anything.
yeah.
Hair, health, protein, and it's like you have no clue what to trust anymore. None.
No,
So like
no idea.
support centers, websites like what you have and what you're offering, it is so important and it's so valuable to us now. Like I can't thank you enough for doing it and putting it together too and just being the voice for us and showing us the way.
Well, I
What
think it's the only way for us to trust stuff anymore, right? I mean,
I know.
blogs used to be where we could trust because people would just authentically share their reviews, but then people would start getting paid.
Mhm.
And now the only way we trust things is when the collective kind of takes this vote. And that's really what I've tried to create. I was like, how
Mm.
are we supposed to trust this? We can't trust studies, obviously. We can't trust the FDA. We can't trust even some of the doctors because
No.
they have their own agenda,
Right.
right? I don't expect anybody to even trust me. Like, please don't.
Right. Yeah.
I like don't trust me. I'm just one person having
Mhm.
my own experience, but like collectively we can get a little bit closer to like
Mhm.
what's actually working,
Yeah.
right?
I say that all the time too. I'm like, don't trust me. Don't take my word for it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, go try it yourself. Do some research. Go out there and look.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it. This stage of life right now, because you have 3 kids, they're all like different stages, different levels, and you've gone through different hormone shifts and changes as I with girls and teenagers and stuff. I find it so interesting how much, the moms can relate. We're like living these parallel universes with these teenagers and their hormones. If we could just touch on that really quickly, because I find it very interesting. And women get told and labeled, and people think of us as like, oh, we're broken and she's old, and like going through just because there's hormone shifts happening. It doesn't mean we're dying. Yeah, we don't look at teenagers and go, oh, you're broken, like something's wrong with you, like, oh, your youth is dying, you're not an adolescent anymore, now you're a teenager, so you're dying, like, oh, that's
Right.
gross. Like
No, we literally are like, oh, he's 15. Like, it's like a pass. Like, you
right.
get to be like a total crazy person when you're 15.
Right. I find it interesting how just it's something bad for us, but teenagers, it's like, oh, this is life and whatever. And that's one thing I appreciate about you so much is that it's like, this isn't the end. This isn't the death of you, and I can relate because I'm the same way. I'm like, excuse me, just because you've had kids doesn't mean that you can't be fucking fit and fabulous and hot, and you can redefine your body. And I love how with you, with menopause and 35 older, I mean, let's be real,
Yeah.
you're not dying either.
No, I mean, think
Like,
about, again, like
people
go
look at
back to that
gross.
puberty phase, right? As much as it sucks, girls are really uncomfortable in their body. I mean, all teenagers are really uncomfortable in their body. They don't know how to use their new long arms, right?
Yes.
There's like a weird size in their
Yes.
body. Everything's weird. And also they're like starting to not like their parents. They're starting to sleep in and stay out late. And I mean, everything's weird. New emotions. Now we're falling in love. Now we're kissing for the first time, right? Like there's a million new things. And at the same time, they're really uncomfortable in their body. Why aren't we looking at perimenopause the same way? Yes, okay, everything sucks. It's really uncomfortable, but also you're awakening to new feelings, new perspectives. I mean, I left my religion. New ideas, new awarenesses. And then we're like, I don't know how to deal with this. Well, how do your kids deal with it? They go sign up for all these different classes. They go find their people. They find new friends. They break
Yes.
up with people. They whatever, right? Like that's how you do it. Go back to your 15-year-old self and think, what brought me life and light and joy and excitement
Yes.
back then? Try those things. If those things you can't do right now, try new things, just like you would sign your 12-year-old up for everything under the sun so that she could find her people and find her thing, right? Art class, I don't know, jujitsu, right? Like we're trying all the things, piano, guitar, do that. Like
Yes.
that is what you should be doing. You
Ugh.
should try new things. I mean, I just started roller skating
I
because
love
I
it.
used to really love roller skating and it is really uncomfortable, but my body loves it. And I started going to live concerts again. Like all these things seem like they're extra, but can you imagine if 15-year-olds weren't doing any of that?
I know.
You would be really, really worried about your 15-year-old that
Yeah.
wasn't leaving their house, wasn't leaving their room, was stuck on their phone. You
Yep.
would be like begging them to go try anything. And I
Something.
think we don't even realize that we're doing that to ourselves.
Yeah. And women, we get stuck in like just these ruts of like work and kids and the
Yeah.
home and bed and then the repeat every single day. And I love that you're bringing light to this subject because it's so important. Like you do get to wake up at this stage of life. You do get to do new things. You don't have to stay like dead inside and feel like soulless. Like there is hope.
And we talk about this like it's self-care. It's not. It's not self-care.
No.
This is literally like a necessity of living.
Yes.
We always have joy as this extra or we'll do it later. No,
No.
like I just had this conversation with a friend yesterday. We went for a long walk and we were talking about how, we whittled being a good mom down to providing the money and providing rides and providing food
Mhm.
and a house. And we have not been taught that being a good mom is actually giving ourselves. And how can our kids know who we are and benefit from who we are
Mhm.
if we're not being ourselves? Like my kids benefit more from me going to a dance class and coming home. They're inconvenienced. They have to figure out their own rides, their own stuff. Me coming home and joking around about showing them my dance. And the whole night ends up like lit up and fun and exciting.
Right.
And there's music. That is more beneficial to my children and my family than getting to bed on time, doing our exact routine, and me sacrificing my dance class so I can drive them to and from whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we do not do that enough.
I have to tell you real quickly, because this is so like literally just yesterday. I was telling Marcella, I just got back from the Baja 400, like down in the middle of freaking Mexico.
Oh, badass.
Yesterday was my daughter's birthday. And, she turned 20 and her dad, we talked about it. I told him, like, I'm going to be gone. I don't know what time I'm going to be back, but I'll be back on your birthday, and stuff. And the guilt Marcella wrapped around like not spending the entire day with her or like making her a dinner. Like every fucking year I do it and it's fine. I love it. But like, I'm like, well, her dad's home and he has a house and can make, a meal. And then I'll come in and join when I can or just see her later and stuff. And it was so hard to let go of that. But like, I had an opportunity to do something so freaking cool and go off and like live, and letting go of that guilt was real. And I think it's so crazy how you're like talking like literally about like what I experienced yesterday of like, why, what would I do? Not go on the entire trip because the very last day was her birthday and so I'd miss the entire experience.
Well, and worse than that, you would teach your daughter to sacrifice some beautiful, amazing, once in a lifetime experience to show up to provide a cake to her daughter. No, we have to stop doing this. Like, birthdays can be celebrated whenever they can be celebrated. Amen. And you going and having this crazy, amazing experience will teach your children that they matter, what they like matters, what lights them up matters, having experiences in the world matter. Yes. And I bet your daughter was just fine.
She's just fine. She had some friends over. He had to make a meal.
Like, okay, mom. Like, it's like I didn't need to actually be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, girl, I just love you so much. I love every topic that we hit. This was just like
I feel like we need
incredible.
to talk for like hours. There's so many things. I think we need to come back and talk about parenting teens. I think that's like a really big topic in my life right now. And I think it's really interesting to do that while you're in perimenopause. I think there are so many beautiful conversations that I would love to share with you that I've had with my teens and be able to relate with them and be able to, I don't know, like go through this with them.
Yes.
Right?
Let's do this again.
There's so much goodness there and we're both doing it. So we should chat about that.
We're doing it, girl. We're doing it. That's for sure. No, let's do it. I totally want to have you back on. I think all of our listeners are going, yes, please do it. Do it. I can hear them right now. Oh, you're amazing. Okay. Tell us again. Where can we find you? How can we follow you? The directory, website, all of it. And we'll put in the show notes too.
Yeah. Come over to wakeherup.co. That's where you're going to find the directory that we talked a lot about. You're going to find more information about perimenopause and symptoms and blood work and all that. And then you'll have the community there. You can join the community there. And then on social media, I'm being Marcella Hill on all the things.
All the things.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for coming on, my friend. And we're going to do this again. We're going to talk about teens and dive into family. I think this will be like great. It'll be a great like part 5.
Part 5. We've been
on all of it. Yeah. All right, you guys, check her out. Listen to her podcast, the Wake Her Up podcast. That's phenomenal. And we will have her back on. Go to the show notes. Everything will be there. Thank you again, my friend. This was incredible. Everyone, stay safe, stay healthy. Until next time. The Bottom Life podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The content shared here is not intended as medical, legal, or professional advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making any health, fitness, financial, or legal decisions. The opinions shared on this podcast are personal experiences and insight. So if you need expert guidance, go find the right professional for you. Thanks for listening.